My name is Lorenzo Robinson.
I'm Moxon Glosson.
Wesley Price.
And this is the next episode of RU Sports Speaks. We have special guests. Well, when he comes one time, it's special guests. When you come twice, you're part of the family now. So we have,
gang,
part of the family. John J.C. Perry, welcome back.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
I'm good, man.
Good.
How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. Lost a little bit of money on that Super Bowl, but
we're going to get right into it, man. Super Bowl 56, if I'm correct, right? 56.
Right, that's correct.
Yep.
Rams 23, Bengals 20. I do believe that it was somebody who came on this very show, in this very room, in front of this very mic, and said in front of the world that the L.A. Rams were going to win the Super Bowl. Do we know who that person was? I just, I think we forget who that was. Who said that,
I think
right?
you're elaborating on last week's podcast when I said they was going to win, right?
I was interested. Who said that, right? I just want to know who said that,
good guess.
in April, right?
It's a good guess.
That's a good
It
guess.
was.
A
I
great
think
guess.
just you and I in this room, Lorenzo.
Oh, very, very solid. Very solid.
And I was tentatively agreed with you because of their star status, but I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's still early, but you were adamant, and you were correct. You ended up being correct.
So we're gonna do a deep dive into it, right? But I had to take a victory lap right quick, just for a second. Before we even knew about Von Miller, before we even knew about Odell Beckham, you know what I'm saying? Before we knew that Cooper Kupp was gonna make this run, it was me that said that the L.A. Rams were gonna win the Super Bowl. Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey.
That's a good guess. I mean,
how sweet it is. They're not even my team, but how sweet it is to be correct. You know what I'm saying?
should have put some money down on that.
Oh, I definitely did. I made a lot of money off this game, too. But I'm not a betting man, for those out there. I'm not a betting man. But, yeah, Rams came out on top. I mean, what are we thinking about the game? How did you feel each team did in terms of taking advantage of different things that they saw?
I'll go first. I think the Bengals hopped on the opportunity that the Rams couldn't really spread the ball out once Odell got injured and just like the Bengals said all year, they were a better second-half team, and they did show that. And I really give a hand clap to Joe Burrow and that team because they really did give it all they had. And literally, even on that last play, had an opportunity to, get a first down and be in that game still. But
yeah, no, them boys balled out.
Yeah.
Though. Everybody played good.
Yeah, it was everything really I could have hoped for besides like a Hail Mary victory at the last second. You got, or Lorenzo, at least I know you know that I'm a big Matt Stafford fan, being a lifetime dog.
Frat Matt.
And it was good to see him. I think personally it solidified his Hall of Fame status. Personally,
Whew.
I think fastest player.
Yeah, we might need to talk about that.
Yeah, fastest quarterback 40,000 yards ever, and now Super Bowl ring. To me, he's a shoo-in, but
right.
So, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that idea. But in terms of the game, I think, because I remember we talked about it before, right, where we were talking about how each team had mismatches that they could exploit, right? And, we kind of saw that come to fruition. Specifically in the first quarter, we saw, the first half when Odell was healthy.
yes,
We saw the Bengals have trouble keeping both Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham at bay.
Right.
Like, it was such a big thing with having that extra weapon because you couldn't load up on Cooper Kupp. We know how good he is, how great he runs routes, how hard it is to bring him down when he gets the ball in his hands. So having Odell be like the perfect complement to him, he can make those tough contested catches. You can also just give him the ball and let him run with it as well because he's just such a great playmaker.
right.
They just complemented each other so well. With Odell going down early, we could tell that the Rams' whole game plan shifted. You could really feel the air kind of taken out of, their sails a little bit. Like, you could.
They lost a little momentum when Odell got hurt.
Yeah,
but
I definitely feel like that took them out a little bit.
The craziest part of that whole game is, though, that Cooper Kupp was still getting off even after Odell got out. So,
Literally.
that just tells you what type of dude Cooper Kupp is.
Oh, yeah, Cooper Kupp is
he
real.
needs his flowers after that game.
Matt Stafford as well.
Cooper Kupp is real.
The no-look pass.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I saw that
Matt's
in
a
slow
dog.
motion.
Matt's a dog at the end of the day. But I mean, at the end of the day, the game came down to what I thought it was going to come down to, and that's D-line play. I did sit on here last week, and I said Bengals were going to win.
Right.
But look, it was anybody's game, though. At the
Simpsons
end of the day,
got
so,
wrong.
I mean, yeah,
Finally
they did get it wrong.
Now,
I've heard somebody Photoshop that, though.
Oh, okay.
I heard that wasn't real.
Right.
once Odell went down, kind of that quick momentum shift, the Bengals scoring that touchdown before half, and then coming right out of half, scoring that T. Higgins controversial touchdown. You know, I'll be remiss without saying it was controversial. It definitely did look like he yanked Jalen Ramsey's. It did look like he yanked the face mask, though, right?
A score's a score at the end of the day.
You know.
But see, that's why the referees got it back later on in the game.
Oh yeah. They definitely got it back.
I think it was an even called game. I didn't have any problems with how it was getting reffed.
Well,
they didn't throw a lot of flags.
It was only two. It was only 2 flags prior to the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And then when the Rams were driving, I think it was 2 or 3.
I actually love how they were reffing it. They let the players play it out.
The Eli Apple pass interference definitely was a pass interference. I could say.
Yeah.
But the Logan Wilson one,
that was a little wishy-washy.
Here's what I could say about that one, right? From the way that they were calling the game, like they were kind of letting them play all game, letting them play so much where they let T. Higgins yank Jalen Ramsey down. They were letting them play so much that I don't really think they should have called that.
It evened out though at the end of the day. Like it evened out. Like the call they missed was a touchdown.
The
call they actually called ended up being led to a touchdown. So I mean, at the end of the day, you can't. I mean, I'm not saying that you're putting it off on the rest, but you can't though. I mean, it's still Bengals' fault.
Because even
you can't let them get all the way down there like that. Yeah, then you got the last second drive at the end of the game to win the game. You got T.J. Uzama. What's his? How you pronounce that name?
C.J. Uzama.
C.J. Uzama, 87 on the Bengals. He's wide open in the flat.
Right.
You got Jamar Chase cooked Jalen Ramsey. He's on the ground on Twitter. Everything is bad whole game for Ramsey. And then they mess up. They don't slide no protection Aaron Donald's way. Like they just let him have his way with.
Joe Mixon didn't even die.
I'm glad you said that.
They just let him have his way.
I'm glad you said that.
So I mean, that's the Bengals' fault at the end of the day. Like
I'm glad
you can't really put
that.
anything on the refs for that game.
Because I just looked at the fourth quarter. All right, and I looked at it from kind of a different perspective. And when I went back, I rewatched it. They did slide protect to the left. The center slid, right guard slid. What happened was the right guard got beat so bad outside that the center couldn't help him. So, I mean, I think they had the right idea to block it up. It's just, that bad man, number 99, just made a play.
One guy got beat.
Yeah.
Was that the second to last?
No, that was the fourth down.
That was the last play of the game.
How y'all feel about Joe Mixon not diving for that ball?
No, that was Samaje Perine.
Samaje Perine.
I guess.
I mean, season on the line.
I didn't see the angle. I didn't see a really good angle to where I could say he sold the game.
Yeah.
But
what did you think about that, Mox?
I mean, it was one of those, just like JC said, where there wasn't a good angle on it for me to be like, oh, he should know for that, or said vice versa.
I just was seeing some controversy about it because Joe Burrow did somehow throw the ball out. And that's all the chance you can ask for on the last play. Right. And he just kind of, made a half-hearted attempt at it, not really going for it. So that's why I asked.
I'd be more mad at the guard that got
definitely
got
destroyed on the last second play of the game. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, baby. I don't know what you got to do in that situation to stop him, or maybe I don't know what you have to do.
He just got beat, man. It happens. He just got beat. Big-time players make big-time plays.
Right. It just felt so abrupt. Because I was like, it's 4th and 1.
Right.
They were chugging along on that last drive.
I would have liked to see them run the ball right there, though. There was Joe Mixon was having a game running the ball, honestly, and I don't think they stuck to that running game like how they should have. They should have slowed the game down a lot more.
Yeah,
I think they try. I don't know if, and it was interesting the play calling down the stretch, right? And not just the play calling, but kind of like the substitution pattern.
For the Bengals or for
the Bengals? Okay. Because Zach Taylor, usually on the third downs, he would, especially in like short yardage situations, he would throw Samaje Perine out there. And I think at some point on that drive, did they throw him a pass, if I'm not mistaken, and he dropped it, or it was incomplete?
I remember there being a drop
there was
pass.
an incomplete,
Was it Samaje Perine?
I'm not sure.
Well, I just think that in that situation, I love Samaje Perine, but I don't think he needs to be in the game in that situation when you have a Joe Mixon on your team.
Right.
But
So-
4th and 1, you're not running that ball right there.
You know, 4th and 1, specifically, you especially as a D lineman, you should know that when you see 4th and 1, you're pinning your ears back. You're automatically assuming it's a run. You're gonna give everything you got up there. And the Bengals already know that their O-line is probably the weakest unit on their team, and the Rams' D-line might be the strongest unit on their team.
Yes.
So I think it was a situation where, you didn't really want to try Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Ashawn Robinson with the game on the line.
Right.
I just think that Aaron Donald just made a play.
And then you got to think, too, 4th and 1, season on the line, Super Bowl on the line. You want best on best. You want the ball in Joe Burrow's hands. You want Jamar Chase one-on-one with somebody. You want T. Higgins. That's what you want. You just want one opportunity to try and keep your season alive. So
So I draft that quarterback one. I want him
Yeah,
to have the ball in his
literally.
hands.
This is not a 2014 Super Bowl, Malcolm Butler interception.
Oh,
Right.
no, absolutely not.
Still sad. I'm going to see Seahawks fans. Still sad.
Y'all
It's-
got one, though.
We
you
didn't
know?
feel like that same situation because in this case they actually put the ball in their best player's
Right.
hands
Yeah.
instead of they didn't hand it to Marshawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause,
So
you know,
I didn't have a problem with it, although I see what JC's saying.
Right.
It's still just 4th and 1.
He got 70. Joe Mixon had 72 yards on 15 carries. And if you go back and watch the game, I think it was like multiple 4th down.
Yeah.
Like
it
not
was.
multiple 4th down, multiple like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3s that they were like getting in like running formations and running down their throat.
converting.
I don't think the Bengals offensive line was like a disadvantage in the run game, but in the pass game,
Pass
clearly
protection,
there was a disadvantage. Like there was definitely disadvantage in the pass game.
But man, that second half, like with the exception of that big play, and the big play to T. Higgins, and then within the first few plays, Rams get the ball back, Matt Stafford throws a pick. After that, the Bengals didn't score again.
Right.
Like
Both
they
teams
didn't.
stalled.
They
That's
really
true.
didn't get much
Both
at all.
teams stalled. Yeah.
So they tried to run then in a lot of short yardage situations.
That's when I sat back. I was like, "Is this going to be a slog fest to the end?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I might be changing the subject a little bit, Lorenzo. But speaking of that Aaron Donald play, that I'll never forget.
Yes.
Just for him, I wanted to
Yes.
see him get it because I've been saying, a bunch of other people have been saying he's the best in the league,
Yeah.
just pound for pound. And I know
Absolutely.
we've discussed Debo too, right? For being like
Gotta love
most
Debo.
value,
Yeah.
most value on his team.
Yes.
I think him and Aaron share that category,
Got to
Absolutely.
throw Cooper Kupp in there too.
and Cooper.
That
Kupp.
end around play.
For sure.
I love
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I love that
Just-
play call,
4th and 1.
especially
Yeah.
when they had no running game going. So I know they didn't expect them to run the ball.
But
It was,
Moxon,
it was amazing. Just him doing this right here. I know
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
the camera, but I'm pointing at my ring finger.
ring me. That's what he
It
said.
was so
Yeah.
awesome to see him be so emotional in that.
So
After,
does he retire though?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
No, I don't think he retired.
At the
I
parade,
don't
he
think
said
he tried to
they can run it back. Yeah.
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 But
like, you
to
don't
that
retire
point,
after
though,
that.
like we see the great players of our generation, right? And we want to see them have moments
Succeed.
like that.
Yes.
Like,
Absolutely.
I'm not a Vikings fan, but I would have always loved to see Adrian Peterson break
Yeah.
off a big run to
Yes.
Super Bowl. You know what I
And
mean?
win it.
Like,
Yep.
like Peyton Manning being able to go out on top.
Yeah.
It's
It
amazing.
would have been great, for football fans. Obviously, people hate on him, but it would have been cool to see Tom Brady go out after, winning that
Yeah.
Super Bowl in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see the great players and,
Right.
like, generational players, like, have moments like that
Right.
where you can't forget. That's going to be something where, I'm going to tell my kids,
Yes.
in the Super Bowl, there was this guy, number 99, made that play, beat the guard, and made the play to win the game. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That was one of those type of moments.
Yes.
You know what I
And
mean?
It was all that frustration from. I kept looking over at my dad. I'm like, double team, triple team, double team.
Yeah.
Every time he would go. He would
Yeah,
go
that was
in.
one play he had like 4 guys. on it,
Exactly.
almost.
And then that frustration from a couple years ago when they played the Patriots and lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that was a good game too. It just wasn't high scoring.
Defensively,
Yeah,
I mean,
defensively
they
it
did
was
their
a great
job
game,
against
yeah.
the Patriots.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Tom Brady offense, they held them to 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
6-3 for a good chunk of the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just cool to
It was
see.
a great
man.
story at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was
It
just
is.
cool to see, man.
Yeah.
But
Did they run it back though?
do they win it again, or do they
Yeah.
run it? Do they run it back with the same squad?
Did they win it again? Did they go
I
back?
think that's so hard in NFL.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I think
really
it's
hard
over,
in the
dude.
NFL, Wesley.
I don't think
Yeah.
Odell comes back the same after that.
You see, and that kind of that segues us
Yeah.
right into what we're gonna talk about next. You've been reading the topics, huh? You've been looking at my screen.
Nah.
Oh my bad. But that that kind of brings us right into what's next for these Super Bowl teams? And let's, we might as well go ahead and start off with the champs. You don't think Odell's coming back?
No, I think he's coming back.
Oh,
I
you
just
think he's
don't
coming
think
back?
he's gonna be. I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
How many knee surgeries or knee injuries are you gonna have before you just all the way decline?
This is his second knee surgery.
Yeah, on the same knee.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll come back, but I just don't see them running it back and winning it all.
You see, and I think, number one, I do think Odell's going to come back, right? I think Von Miller's probably going to come back for another year. Obviously, I think a lot of those offensive guys, Cam Akers and Sony Michel. Will Sony Michel sign on a 1-year deal? I mean, he was the third running back.
It's a lot of mouths to
Yeah.
feed, and it's a lot of mouths to feed in LA too.
Yeah,
because they had a lot of guys emerge this year that weren't big time guys.
Right.
Absolutely.
But you got to also factor in money and stuff. Like with Odell's situation, with him re-tearing that ACL, you don't. Even though I know he would like to have some more money, he can't go in there and demand it because what are you gonna base it off of? I mean, he had a great year, he did. But the injury obviously is going to impact him as a player. So that's part of the the contract stuff.
And when you get hurt, you want to go where you're comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go with this other team. You don't even know what their medical staff is like.
He's got an LA home, so he's comfortable out there.
That is true.
I mean, I think they just bring the whole team back. And the thing about that, what you just said about Odell, I think that they'll kind of be able to ease him back in because Robert Woods is going to be coming back.
That's what people did forget about
Woods.
too. Yeah, people did forget
because Odell was
Robert
supposed to be a
Woods.
third option, and because Robert Woods went down, he
gone.
became the second option.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that is true. The people forgot about Robert Woods.
Right.
Bengals though.
Go get O-line. Got to.
Oh man.
O-line for sure. If they don't get an O-line, Joe Burrow might not last
Yeah.
10 years.
Hey, remember I asked you last week how many sacks did you think they get in the Super Bowl? Compared to versus the 9 that they let up, and they let up 7.
Yeah, I didn't think they would give up anything close to 9. 9 is just so impressive.
It is ridiculous.
So they got to get that young man some protection.
Yes.
Yeah, no cap.
The Bengals, it's too early to say, this season was a fluke. That's what people were saying about the 49ers a few years ago, and they were right back almost to the top of this season.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a matter of just O-line? They looked They were, as we were saying a few weeks ago, Lorenzo, they were peaking at the right time.
Yes.
Will they peak at the right time again? And there's
so
no way
many
to
good
tell.
teams
Yeah,
in the AFC,
exactly.
dude.
So many good teams.
There's so many good
quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's some juggernaut
Yes.
quarterbacks in the AFC. Herbert out there, Pat. You got Josh Allen. You got Joe Burrow too. Mac Jones and them. You got Lamar Jackson. You got the Colts. The Colts don't have a juggernaut quarterback, but they're a solid squad.
They're
though.
releasing Carson Wentz, right?
Yes.
Are they?
I think I just saw that they are. Yeah.
That's
They are.
great for them. But the AFC is just so stacked, dude.
It's hard for me to just say that the Bengals are just gonna come right back because I saw a little bit of that on Twitter too, where people are saying, Joe Burrow's just gonna be right back in this situation next year. He won't forget, and it's the NFL. Things move so fast in NFL, and the Bengals are a testament to that being as bad as they were. I believe they won 4 games last year, and being a Super Bowl team.
Right.
Things move so fast in the NFL, so it's hard to just say that they're just gonna be right back.
I could see them being in the mix. Kind of like how.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
always
they're gonna be in the mix.
Yeah, like you're always gonna see, the Chiefs or the
Pittsburgh,
Bills or those
Baltimore,
teams. Yeah,
like they're gonna be right up in there. You know what I mean?
Chiefs are my team to return, but
I
I
know
feel like
we're
the
not
Chiefs
on
are
that
gonna come
yet.
back with a vengeance. I feel like they are.
think so.
I felt like they were due to go this year, but hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as long as you got that boy number 15 back
Yeah.
there, you know.
anything's possible.
But we're talking about great quarterbacks in the AFC. There's one in the NFC who is it's got a little bit of a sticky situation going on right now. Of course, we're talking about Kyler Murray in Arizona. Shortly after the Pro Bowl, he gave a lot of public praise to Mike Evans and CeeDee Lamb, and a lot of people were like, that's interesting. But him and Mike Evans, both from Texas, him and CeeDee Lamb went to college together. People didn't think anything of it, right? So we just throw that to the side. Then a few days later, he scrubbed his social media account of all Cardinals-related posts. That's peculiar.
That's
you know
really
what
weird.
I mean? That's only 2 posts he had left was one of him in college and one of him at the Pro Bowl.
Right.
And who was in those Pro Bowl picks, you ask? Yeah, Mike Evans and CeeDee Lamb.
Lamb.
So it's a little interesting. And now we get some reports coming out from the Cardinals camp saying that Kyler Murray's not a great leader. Kyler Murray pouts, a little too much. Kyler Murray, didn't want to check back in against the Rams on the last drive. So it's interesting. It's a lot of things coming out from both sides. It's crazy. We know that the Cardinals usually falter late in the season. That's kind of something that
they've done that for the past 3 years now.
Yeah, they do it consistently.
Yeah. And going back to Cliff Kingsbury, their head coach, just his history, that's something that his teams have been doing since he was a college coach at Texas Tech.
This is a man who was hired with no previous NFL coaching experience at all, which is never done.
Yeah.
So I just genuinely do not understand why they just were thinking he was just going to be some miracle. Like he just was.
Well, let's not discredit what he's done.
Oh no, not at all.
He's a great offensive mind.
Let's not discredit what he's done. Now the man didn't have any experience, but I mean he's had a winning team every year that he's been in the league.
I don't know. That first year I'll cut him some slack because they
weren't they a winning team though?
No.
They that first year not. 5 or 6 the last 2 years, yeah.
But that second season, they started off
your
really
second and third
strong
one's a winning season, and you never coached in the league. That's pretty good.
Oh, it's
I don't believe they had a winning season last season. I think last season they won 7 or 8 games, but they started off really strong, and that's my point. Like they have these strong starts, and then they just fall apart.
Yeah,
like that's kind of been a consistent theme.
But see, my point, JC, is when you hire a coach, even though like you said he is a great offensive mind, he was a college guy, so he knows how to, put those offenses together. But you go get a rookie quarterback and a new coach, and you put them together. You have to let them build. Right. I understand it's Kyler Murray's third year, and they were balling out. They were off to a hot start, but you can't go and start criticizing the young man because he is younger. The younger quarterbacks have to do some growing up, even though you see phenomenal stories pop out like Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. Yeah. But also, like the Stephen A. said, I don't think it's a coincidence that Kyler's up for a contract. I don't think because if he's a bad leader, he's been a bad leader. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
They were aware of that when they drafted him.
Where is all this coming from? All this is coming out because he wants to take control of his own future.
It's
every team does this, dude. I hate this. Is what I don't like about the NFL. What's the name? Deshaun Watson. Everybody forgets about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has had no allegations, no problems, no character problems until he wanted to go test his luck in free agency.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
and then they release all of it.
Yeah, then they release all. It's real coincidental that.
That's how you blackball somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. What is his gripe? Well, what is he trying to leave?
He feels like he's being scapegoated for their issues,
for their inconsistency.
It's kind of his fault. He's a quarterback, right?
Right. Which is what I'm saying. But they're also calling him childish and not a leader and stuff. But I'm saying this is all stuff that the NFL is well known for looking into before you even draft a player, because they do interviews, they do all of this whole process. So if you were aware of this, what is the issue now?
Let's think, fella. There's something more to this though.
Yeah,
Cliff Kingsbury didn't Cliff. No, not even that. I'm not finna pull the black card. Okay. Cliff King. I wasn't even going there. I wasn't even going there. Cliff Kingsbury is his college coach, right?
Right.
No, well, yeah, he was.
He was.
So he drafted him. Yeah, correct. I ain't wrong about that. He handpicked him.
Mm-hmm.
They know the guy. Mm-hmm. Like the question of his character, that's coming out of blue moon because he wants to test free agency. My thing is what is the actual reason? I don't think it's because he's being scapegoated. It's something else that we just don't know.
You know what I believe it is?
What is it?
And I really thought long and hard about this, right? Because, of course, me being a black man in America, we understand.
Y'all think this is a racial issue?
You gotta let me go. You gotta let me go. You gotta let me go.
I don't think
you gotta let me go. Me being a black man in America, we understand. When we hear words like childish, inconsistent, not a leader. We know what that means, right? There's also a flip side to what's going on. I believe that the Cardinals invested so much money and resources into Kyler Murray that I don't think they want to scapegoat him. I don't think they want to get him blackballed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is more so an idea of, I think it's just this simple. I think it's a situation where the Cardinals have seen the Cliff Kingsbury experience, these fast starts, high-flying offense, first 8-9 games, and then falter. And I think that they're trying to figure out a way to distance themselves from that. And Kyler just so happens to be a part of that.
Right.
So
That's
you know,
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't
know
think
about
it's such a thing where they're trying to target Kyler, but I
Right.
think it's more so they're trying to distance themselves from the Cliff Kingsbury
and get
type
who?
of
Cliff
offense.
Kingsbury's still the coach.
Right.
He's a coach for now. He hasn't signed an extension yet. His contract is up at the next
I
season.
was about to say his contract ends in 2022.
So you fire him for winning?
I mean, is he winning?
That sounds ridiculous.
Is he
though.
really
That
winning
sounds
though?
ridiculous.
Is he really winning? Because they started off really strong last season. This past year,
It takes
they
longer.
They
It
fall
takes
off.
And then you
longer.
gotta
It takes a long time to build a winning program.
It does
dude.
take a long time
And
to build a
before
winning
he was
program.
there, they were 3-10. Well, they was 3-13, whatever they
They
were.
were awful
The next
before
year he
Kingsbury.
gets there, 5-10. Next year after that, 8-8, they go 500. Next year after that, they do what they do this year and go 11-6. That's progression. I don't think they're getting rid of Cliff Kingsbury.
Right.
I don't think they want to get rid of Kyler Murray. That's
Right.
what you invest in. That's what's been turning the program around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
But
this
at the same time, I just think we're arguing about. I think we're not arguing. We're talking about and speculating something that we honestly don't know the
Right.
real reason why he wants out. It's
Right.
not.
That's the
It's
thing.
not because
He
he's
said-
getting scapegoated, and it's not because of character issues. They drafted the coach that coached him in college. They knew who they were getting. So like, you feel me? Like,
this is
it's
this,
something that we just don't know. Like, it's either
Right.
somebody up front office is. I don't know.
So when we
Until-
don't
It's a
know-
lot of hoopla if
until
you ask me.
Until we do know, I see what you're saying, and I
Right.
totally. When you have a coach coming in and the program is like in shambles, right? 3-13, and you have something progressively getting better each
Right.
year, you have to wonder, like you were saying, Lorenzo and JC, what you were saying. What exactly is there more to this story?
It's a
That's
lot more.
exactly what I thought when I first read the scrubbing allegations.
Yeah, like it's a bunch of hoopla.
So
dude.
here
It's
goes
crazy.
what the
A bunch of
Cardinals released.
sensitivity.
They said they are indeed alarmed by the quarterback's frustration with the franchise after they released that he is self-censored, immature, and a finger pointer. And Murray feels like he's being framed as a scapegoat and was embarrassed after their playoff loss with the Rams.
Okay, now we're getting a timeline. So they came
After
out and
playoff
released all that stuff about him being not a good leader.
That came post
The
his
loss.
That came
Instagram
post the
scrubbing.
Instagram
Yeah, it's
or
post
before the
Instagram.
Instagram.
It says that
Scrubbing.
after Pro Bowl.
Well, of course they're gonna release that after he scrubs.
I did not know that.
Of course they're
Yeah,
gonna release that
yeah.
after he scrubs his Instagram though.
I thought it was
So
flipped.
that's why I kind of think it's like a situation where, you can't break up with me. I'm breaking up.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
We're on the same page
I
with
think
that.
that's right.
But where you were going though, you're talking like they're trying to get rid of Kyler and then get rid of Cliff Kingsbury.
No, I
it was
think-
working. I don't know.
I think that they believe that, like a lot of people believe, that there's kind of like a cap to what can be done when it comes to Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach of the Cardinals.
No.
We've seen these last few seasons. I think it was every year that he's been in the NFL and every year that he's been in college. His teams start off strong, really good records. Some of those Texas Tech teams were ranked at some points during the year.
Those are fun teams to watch.
Yeah,
too. Those
yeah.
Texas Tech teams were
But
fun.
then down the stretch, same thing happens. They falter. Offense
Yeah.
that's so high flying lacks creativity. If you see the offense from when they played the Rams the first time in LA early in the season versus when they played the Rams in the postseason, it was a completely different offense.
Can they not fix that though?
No, I'm saying. And I'll cut them some slack for missing DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, that's a
Right.
huge piece.
JJ Watt
That's a huge
out
piece.
for the year.
Yeah. J.J. Watt came back for the playoffs, but I'm just talking specifically the offense.
I'm saying factor in why
Yeah,
that they
absolutely.
skid like they did.
And
Right.
J.J. Watt is a big loss.
Deshaun Hopkins lost. JJ Watt lost.
But can you
Chandler
lose
Jones.
to the Lions though?
Yeah, it's any given
Come
Sunday.
on,
It's the
man.
NFL.
Can't-
Talk to him.
Are you
Any
supposed
It's
to
the
given
lose to
NFL,
the
dude.
Lions? Are you
The
supposed to
Colts
lose?
lost. The Colts lost to the Jags at the
Yeah,
end
that's
of
a
the year.
bad
The
loss.
Bengals lost to the Jets. So
That's a
yeah.
bad loss. That's a bad
What
loss,
I'm
too.
saying is any given Sunday, and dude, it takes more than a couple
And
years
those
to build a
teams
program.
weren't like skidding. Those were the Colts
Right.
definitely skidded down the stretch. But in the Bengals case, that was an any given Sunday loss, and they
Right.
moved on and went on their run. The Cardinals,
I feel that.
that was a consistent pattern of bad play over the course of some weeks that definitely culminated in that Lions loss.
I just feel like whatever it is, it's a lot of sensitivity BS because like, come on, where's this? Like, it's not an actual reason of why he scrubbed his.
Right.
It's not a reason that's just publicized of why he scrubbed his account, and then they dropped that. So that's
Right.
just a rebuttal to what he did.
Right.
That is
And also,
exactly what I
JC,
think.
to what you were saying earlier when I said him being an African American man. This is a credit to what you said too, like with the Deshaun Watson stuff.
Yeah, that too. But
I'm talking about like with Stephen A. said it. It's a recurring issue in the league that like this is like on the record. Like when African American quarterbacks, especially ones who are more athletic, go to, in the contract terms with a team, all these character issues like come up. So that's what I was talking about. Not saying just because that, but I just was saying I feel like that is a odd thing that is a recurring issue.
We would be remiss if we
that's
didn't
the reason. That
right, that's what
I
I'm
feel like
saying.
that's the reason with the stuff that happened after the scrubbing.
Right.
What I was talking about, I didn't think it was a racial issue for him scrubbing the
Oh,
account.
no, yeah.
Whatever that is,
Yeah.
we have no clue what
Right.
it is, and we probably will
We'll
never
never know,
know.
yeah.
Well, the problem is that seems what started it all because he
It
did
is
that
what started
first.
it all.
So
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You feel me? If it was a real
Exactly.
reason, it would have been publicized, and then he
Right.
would have scrubbed it, and then they would have dropped the allegation
Right.
things. But we don't even know the origin of the. Like, it's kind of bad. I don't know.
He can't just come out and say
Say
why
it,
he
right.
did this, right?
Exactly.
So
right.
the
why
timeline,
not,
the real timeline. I know we've kind of like pieced it together a little
Why
bit,
can't
but
he,
you
though?
know, I mean, he can't.
Why
You
can't he,
can't just
though?
come out and say what I'm about to say is the reason. This
It's
is the
PR.
reason.
Yeah,
Like
it's just PR.
you can't
It's-
come out and no. Here's the reason why. Right after that loss, it's a situation where him, his agent, and management sit down and they're like, "Hey, so Kyler, what are you thinking about your terms for a contract? This is what we're thinking."
That's probably what
Boom.
it is, huh?
And because
Yeah.
we're at that third year, and what have we
Disagreements-
seen?
disagreements in
These
contracts.
last few really good third-year quarterbacks. Josh Allen got the highest guaranteed amount, got over $250 million. Pat Mahomes signed that gargantuan
$500
$500 million
some
dollar
deal.
that freaking baseball
backloaded
contract.
contract.
So we see those deals, right? So now
So
Kyler's up to the plate.
You
He's
feel like
the
he
next
went
guy
up
in
to
line.
so you feel like he went up to the table asking for that.
For something
For
like
what?
that.
I don't
This
know
is
if
what
he
I'm
asked for
worth,
that
and that's what I
specifically,
want.
But I think that there's been some sort of impasse in negotiations, and that definitely led to him not only leading to him scrubbing his Instagram account, but it's not a coincidence why he's been heaping all this praise on CeeDee Lamb and Mike Evans, and them being his only post available now. A
Right.
situation where, hey, CeeDee Lamb is my teammate, and I asked you guys to get CeeDee Lamb, you didn't get him.
Right.
And then Mike Evans is a guy who plays for Tampa Bay who needs a quarterback. So I don't think those are coincidences. I think all of that is calculated.
So
now he can't just come out
making
and
the
say
power
that.
play
Absolutely.
by scrubbing the account.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Now
okay.
Arizona
Now we're
has
getting
every
somewhere.
right
Now
to
we're
kind of
getting somewhere.
defend themselves
It makes
against
sense.
that. And we've heard kind of like rumblings where they've been looking at Cliff Kingsbury and his performance recently, and them kind of trying to see if he's the right coach to take them and Kyler to the next level.
Right.
But if Kyler Murray feels that way,
Right.
they're not going to just sit around and let Kyler Murray dictate the narrative and say, hey, I won out, this, and this. We haven't seen a young quarterback really force his way out of any situation. You know what I'm saying? Like Carson Wentz gets traded to the Colts.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston gets released by Tampa Bay and gets
Okay,
picked up by the
okay,
Saints.
okay, I
So
see
we
where you're
haven't
going with this.
seen a young quarterback be able to do this.
This is
So
some
I think
NBA
that's
some
where we're at.
NBA stuff in the NFL.
Yeah. We've
Like,
never
basically
seen
what-
any, we've
basically
never
what we're
seen a
watching.
star make
Okay.
a play like
Okay,
that.
okay.
And the only time we see stars make plays like that, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's was in year 20 something,
Yeah, he's a
forcing his
veteran.
way out.
Right.
Odell Beckham being a
Veteran.
veteran, forcing his way out.
Yeah.
So a guy like Kyler Murray been in the league for 3 years, specifically coming off of a playoff loss, and you're our star quarterback, number one pick. You're not gonna just
Wash your
do
hands
something
with us.
like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But-
So that's where I think they're at.
Like, where do we draw the line with the NFL and these teams dropping these like crazy allegations on these dudes when they want to do something that they want to do? Like everybody like
I feel like
I don't
that's
know.
the
I feel
business
like everybody
world,
can
though.
see that as kind of like BS. Like,
I feel like that's the business
to a
world, though.
point, yeah, because we haven't heard anything about it.
and
before
they
then.
drafted dude's coach. So like, if anybody knows his character, it would have
It
been
would
the
be
head
Coach
coach.
Kingsbury.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
But do you think it's a coincidence that none of the Cardinals players have come out in support of Kyler Murray? Do you think that if Kyler Murray was this great leader that they could stand behind, don't you think? Yeah.
So you're saying that the Cardinals releasing that information that he's whiny and not a good leader has merit?
I mean, I don't know if it has merit or not.
Okay.
I'm not in the locker room, right?
Right.
But we know that there are some very strong vets in that locker room in terms of very big personalities. Chandler Jones,
I was about to say
J.J.
Chandler and
Watt,
JJ.
Right.
Buda Baker, guys who are very active when it comes to speaking their minds on
Right.
social media and on talk shows and stuff. We see those guys all the time. So is it a coincidence that none of those guys, Larry Fitzgerald used to be in that locker room. Is it a coincidence that none of those guys have come out in support of him? I don't know if it has merit or not, but it's definitely something that you have to think about.
That's fair. I think we really made some strides here in this investigation of why.
A little bit more clear.
Because I'll be honest, before this conversation, I didn't even look into. Well, I've heard of him scrubbing his account. I never looked into why he did it. I really honestly didn't care.
Yeah,
it was a bunch of hoopla to me.
It's real. You know, I'm injured right now, so I have a lot of time with my hands to just look up look up stuff like that. But another quarterback, shifting back to the AFC, we touched on him a little bit. Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts parting ways. Well, potentially parting ways. Nothing's official yet, but where are we at with that? And I'll kind of start us off with this one. I think, and this might be a little bit of a hot take. I think it might be a little bit unfair to Carson Wentz because I know that Carson Wentz wasn't great, right?
He sucks.
I don't want to go that far, but I know he wasn't great, right? But
bad.
I think that it was year one, and he didn't play awful. He wasn't great, but 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, boom. I think that you kind of got to give him one more year to figure it out. But I see where the Colts are coming from. Like, they have a really good roster top to bottom.
Yeah.
Really nice defensively. They have a few weapons. Michael Pittman came up and showed out this season. He definitely played a lot better. Jonathan Taylor, we know the beast that he is, and we know that offensive line, the guys that they have, Braden Smith, Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, guys like that. We know who they have. We know that they're a team that feels like they're built to win now, right?
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I don't think that you could just throw a rookie on that team and say, boom, we're ready to go. Or I don't think you could just get a guy off the scrap heap and say, boom, we're ready to go. If you don't have an option there right now, I don't think it makes sense for you to just part ways.
But what if they're in like a Rams situation where they're like, well, maybe we can go get a more seasoned quarterback, like maybe try and go get an Aaron Rodgers or maybe make a bid for a Russell Wilson so we can be a contender right now.
That's real. If you have that plan, then go execute that plan. And I'm all for that.
But
if that's their plan, then I think they could go do that.
But I feel like a big part of that is the getting rid of Wentz. And like you said, Wentz didn't just play, atrocious, even though JC said he feels like he sucks. But this is the same kid who helped the Eagles until he got injured.
And
was having
Foles won in 2018.
Yeah, was having an MVP caliber year,
right,
and then got hurt. And this is still he has a ring, and he was a big part of that team being successful that year, even though he hasn't been the same caliber since. But I feel like the NFL is tough, especially when you move. And like he said, I understand why you would feel like he might need another year to prove his worth. But like you said they have a great roster top to bottom, so maybe they feel like, hey, we have a formula. We just need the right guy in it, and we could be in the mix next year. Because there's a lot of QBs that are kind of like, you got Jimmy Garoppolo, Aaron Rodgers. You got a lot of couple guys, that I feel like any team would gladly take over Carson Wentz right now.
I know you don't like Jimmy G. Neither do I.
Are you sure Jimmy Garoppolo better than Carson Wentz?
I'm just saying.
Jimmy G is definitely cut and dry better.
Oh my God!
Are y'all kidding me now?
He's better than Carson.
What are
Wentz.
we really getting at?
I don't think he's.
What are we
not
really
consistent.
getting at right now?
But
Oh my God!
He's better. Than
They're both
Carson Wentz.
inconsistent.
Or
They're both
I think he's
inconsistent.
better.
But I'm just saying, if you're the
Hold up, let's pull up Carson Wentz.
If you're the
stats.
Colts,
Compare the
let's keep it a
stats,
buck.
man.
If you're the
Compare the
Colts
stats.
and you've seen
Pull up
Jimmy
stats.
G in the Super Bowl,
I
you've
got
seen
Carson
Jimmy
Wentz
G
stats. Pull up Jimmy G
help this
stats.
team in the Super Bowl. I mean, help them in the playoffs.
He threw 8 passes and I don't want to put too much of my
Pull up
emotions
Jimmy
into this,
G
but
stats.
come on, man. Like,
Oh man,
are we sure that Jimmy Garoppolo is better than
This is Carson Wentz on a loaded Philadelphia team.
Talk to me.
3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns,
Indianapolis?
7 interceptions. What'd I say?
You said Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Loaded Indianapolis
Indianapolis team. 7 interceptions. I mean, he did have a passer rate of 94.6.
So now do you want me to go to Jimmy Garoppolo?
He didn't play.
3,800 yards.
Let's talk about his season,
3,800 yards.
3,800 yards.
That's only 300 more yards. I mean,
He played significantly less games.
let's
he was
put that in
sharing minutes
perspective.
with Trey
Let's put that
Lance.
in
But keep
perspective,
going.
yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
you have to remember the Trey
He
Lance.
played 15
that
games.
he
Carson
played,
Wentz missed
right.
some games too, though. So how many games did Carson Wentz play? But either way, 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks.
Ooh, that 12 picks is a little nasty.
But I mean, I'm not a stats. Stats aren't everything, of course,
man.
But
Let's be
my
honest.
eyes tell me that Carson Wentz is a better quarterback.
Both these guys are better bottom half quarter QBs.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Like we're comparing.
We're comparing trash to trash.
We're comparing. Like.
I feel like I'd take Jimmy G over dude though.
Oh man, come on, man. You weren't here when I went on my tirade about Jimmy Garoppolo, but I don't. Oh man,
he's like the one part of San Francisco that I think you had said was that's what's going to bring him down.
Subpar.
Okay, well, I guess they're the same quarterback then, because the one part of Indianapolis that was bringing him down was Carson Wentz, bro.
Exactly.
Like literally, you take Russell Wilson and flip them. I think Russell Wilson makes a playoff run with that team.
Now it's interesting though. We talked about them making a move for Aaron Rodgers, making a move for Russell Wilson. What incentive would the Packers or the Seahawks have to take Carson Wentz
to part ways,
unless Indianapolis is doing what the Rams did and throwing all their picks on there.
So did they cut Carson? What are they doing with Carson?
Exactly. They're parting ways.
They're parting ways.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're looking for a trade partner. If they can't find a trade partner, they're trying to release him before the new league year starts, so his money doesn't count against the cap.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the Seahawks though, am I?
Because
Because Detroit was already bad, right? But they were like bad, like trying to be bad. Like they already knew who they were.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, they had a bad year this year, but Russ missed a lot of games.
Yes,
right.
They're normally a playoff team.
Seahawks.
And looking at the Packers are normally a really good team too. Playoff team, NFC
Fringe
Championship
playoff,
caliber team.
Yeah.
So if I'm one of those teams, am I taking Carson Wentz for my Russell Wilson or my Aaron Rodgers?
This might be a hot take, but I think the Seahawks need to push the reset button anyways.
You think they need to
I don't think it's
rebuild
time
him?
yet.
You think it's time?
I don't think it's time
Definitely
yet.
time, dude.
I don't think it's time yet.
Seahawks fan, you don't think it's
Chris
time yet?
Carson, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. You got Jamal Adams, who was injured.
Reset.
You still got Bobby Wagner.
Reset.
Oh my God.
They got Carlos Dunlap.
Come on now.
Puna Ford,
Come
one of the
They've
most
got-
underrated.
In the next 5 years, they're not catching 49ers. They're not catching the Rams. Reset, dude.
They won. Quiet as it's kept last
That's
season.
fair.
They won that
That's
division
fair.
last season,
Yeah.
though. They won that.
They had
division.
won it over the Rams.
Over the Rams, over the
Yeah.
Niners,
Come
over
on
the
now.
Cardinals. It was the Seahawks that won that division. Now the Rams did beat them in the playoffs,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying
They
that
won
the
the
Seahawks,
division. Yeah.
when healthy, when whole, are not a team that can just be dismissed. We know how Russell Wilson gets
You
down.
got
We know
Pete
who
Carroll.
he is.
Come on now. Hall of Fame coach.
Well, they don't know how to build a team.
Whew.
You don't think so? They won a Super Bowl.
They don't know how to rebuild a team. Well, they're acting like they don't know how to build a team.
It's tougher.
They building it inside out now. They're like
Well, the focus
they
has
did build
changed.
it from defense to offense. Now they're building it. They're getting DK Metcalf, and then they're half-ass building a team too.
The focus has changed. It went from defense to now you got a Hall of Fame potential QB with Russell Wilson.
And
So
he's soaking up all the money.
But let's be honest. What successful
salary.
team?
Yeah, he's soaking up like all.
What
the salary
successful
cap.
team in the NFL do you not see that doesn't have a great quarterback at the helm? You can't say one.
Let's be honest. We don't need it. You don't need a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
As evidence.
Let's
by-
keep it.
Never
Wait,
mind.
hold on
Nick
now.
Foles.
Wait, hold on.
Nick
Hold on.
Foles.
As evidence
No.
by the
Nick Foles.
LA Rams.
No.
Come on.
You don't even need a caliber quarterback to go to the daggone Super Bowl.
But if you don't
Come
have a
on,
great
man.
quarterback, the rest of your team better be amazing.
better.
Yeah.
Like you better have
Who's
you
your
better
team,
have a
JC?
Bosa.
Steelers.
You better have an Armstead. You better have a Richard
Hold
Sherman.
up.
You
I'll
better
go to-
have
I'll go to
that
bat by my
O-line
Steelers
and
right now,
Shanahan.
dude.
You better have that type of team if you're gonna have a subpar quarterback in the
Right.
Super Bowl. You better be the Philadelphia Eagles with one of the best O lines, one of the most underrated defenses.
Correct.
You with one of the best offensive minds in the league, Frank
Correct.
Wright, Doug
Correct.
Peterson. You better be that if you're going to the Super Bowl
Correct.
with a subpar quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that better be who you are. Even the Buccaneers, because I mean, Tom Brady. Tom Brady was Tom Brady.
Right.
But you better have a Leonard Fournette.
Oh,
You better
absolutely.
have
Yeah.
a Shaq Barrett, a Jason Pierre-Paul. You better have an Antoine Winfield Jr. You better have all of that. You better have Levante David, Devin White.
Tampa Bay's defense in 2020 was just as instrumental as Tom Brady was getting them there.
You
So,
better have that if you're going to make a Super Bowl
Right.
without that caliber of quarterback. If not, you better have that quarterback. And you just said that Seattle needs to hit the reset button. But do you know why we're even talking about Seattle right now? It's because of Russell Wilson.
Because he's
Russell Wilson is
right.
Russell Wilson.
Right.
So we
He's a
always
Hall of
think
Fame
that they have
I
a
bet
shot.
you if you put Russell Wilson on the Steelers, I bet you feel like y'all are a contender.
No, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, come
But
on.
we're not talking about my Steelers
Come
right
on
now. We're talking. What were we?
Because you don't even believe
What's
that.
the origin of this
We're
So
talking
we're
conversation?
talking
Colts.
about
We
the
were talking about
Colts
the
and
Colts.
Carson Wentz.
Right.
So Carson Wentz, I think that the Colts will make a mistake if they part ways from him if they don't have a plan. I don't think you can just cut him and say, okay, now we're just gonna fly by the seat of our own
I feel
pants.
like they
'Cause,
got
I
a
mean,
plan though.
I like their
I feel
roster.
pretty
There's
confident
one-
in the Colts that they have a plan.
There's one of three things they can do. They can keep him. They can
Yes.
grab someone off free agency
Yes.
and grab a veteran, or they can grab a rookie. I think one thing I can say for certain because of how their team is built, which, full disclosure, it's how I would build a team. I love how they're built. I love how they have a really strong offensive line, good playmakers on both sides of the ball, and a really strong running game in Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
But the one thing they won't do, I don't think, is snag a rookie. I don't
Absolutely
see
not.
them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't see
no.
that- I don't see that
I hope
happening.
that's not their plan.
I don't
If
see
they
that
snag another
happening.
veteran, fine. If he fits in the system well, but it's either they keep Carson or they
Yeah.
I
I think they're doing that. The reason I say that,
So-
I feel like with the team that they have to be saying it's all in within the next couple years type of thing. Not let's go get a rookie and hope for the best, because that's not it.
and reset. Yeah, I don't see it.
So moving on to, Super Bowl was just Sunday, right? So what's the most fun thing to do after one season ends? Just to talk about the next season, right?
Yes.
So, we're going to talk about Super Bowl 57 and who do we have
Early.
meeting in the Super Bowl. Way too early, but, this is what we do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So who do we have as of right now, as everything stands, not predicting who's going to get drafted, not predicting free agency. I mean, you could do it any way you want, but who do we have as of right now making it to the Super Bowl?
What's today?
Today is February 17th, 2022.
Whoever wins the AFC Championship between the Chiefs and the Bills, because that'll be the AFC Championship will win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's
Big
my
time.
hot
I like
take.
that.
If you had to pick one, who would you pick?
God, that's tough. Kansas City Chiefs. That's the
Kansas
conservative
City.
pick.
I like that take.
It's a conservative pick. JC said earlier that they're due for another appearance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
like
like it was.
Kansas
I
City
feel like
next
it was
year.
this year.
Let me ask y'all a question. What do the Bills need to break through?
I don't think they need anything.
I mean,
I think they need a little bit of luck.
But,
They
but
just-
see,
no,
even
no,
but see, the
no,
thing
no,
is,
no,
even
no,
with that
no.
great team,
They
I
need
just feel
something.
like everybody's like Chiefs over them anyway.
right.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know what they can. Like you said,
Why though?
they're gonna be in that conversation,
They
but I just
will.
don't know.
Why do you feel that way though?
They had the best defense in the league
They had the best defense, and I mean, man, like
with no Pro Bowlers.
for
That's
all
crazy.
well, they had two All Pros,
But they,
Poyer and
Yeah, that's
Micah
pretty.
Hyde.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But I like what you said about AFC. What about the NFC though?
I mean, the Rams are going to be in the conversation again.
Absolutely.
Keep your eye on Green Bay, depending on what happens with good old won't keep his mouth shut Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
I mean, Tampa Bay without Tom, I still think they're a solid team. You think they're going to tank, Wesley?
No, I won't say tank, but I don't think it'll be
That
the
won't be
same
quite as good.
level of
They're gonna
competition.
be a fairly good team.
Yeah.
And of course, consistent as ever, I think 49ers will still be in the conversation as well. I like I just like how that team's built as well.
I like Trey Lance.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
Trey Lance?
Yeah, I saw a clip of him today. It looked pretty good.
Do you believe he's ready to take the
To
reins
take
of
it
that team?
on. Yeah.
I mean, they did it with Jimmy G, dude. He just put up
What
Jimmy
what
G
did they do
stats.
with Jimmy G?
12 interceptions, 3,800 yards, 20 tuds, and
I'm
they went to the
saying,
NFC Championship with
They
that.
did. They did. Is Trey Lance better than Jimmy G today?
Could he do that,
He
though?
hasn't played enough.
I feel like
He
I
hasn't
could throw
played enough.
12
He
picks
hasn't
in the
played
league right
And
now. I
when
could throw
you-
way more than that.
When you're a rookie, it's a lot of welcome to the NFL moments you gotta have.
He's not a rookie anymore.
With that inexperience, though, you know what I mean?
How
This
many?
will be his
he
first
played,
year.
Yeah,
as a
his
starter.
first
He
4
played,
years.
he
as
played
starting.
3 games. Didn't he start 3 games?
He started 2 games, I believe, and then the
Okay.
second game he got hurt.
And he's
Jimmy
gonna
G
feel
came
that
back
pressure.
in.
He's gonna feel that pressure of that fan base and that organization saying, "Hey, we have a team that can."
With a juggernaut defense on your side and a mastermind offensive coordinator and a great run game, I feel like he could copy what Jimmy
So
G
it
did.
sounds like you have the Niners making the Super Bowl.
Depending on what Aaron Rodgers does. If Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay, I got Green Bay and the Chiefs going again.
I think it's going to look similar with Green Bay and San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think they'll be. It will
consistent.
probably be them in the NFC Championship. In my
You
opinion.
see, Green Bay. And remember, we talked about this before. I just have a hard time trusting Green Bay. Ergo, as evidenced by what we saw.
Oh,
you know
God,
what I'm
that
saying?
game, dude.
Like
that game
that
pissed
was
me off.
That was like everything that I say about Green Bay.
Yeah.
Like, man, it looks great on paper. They got pass rushers. They got a really nice D line.
Yeah.
They have solid DB play. They have, well, in the regular season, it seems like they have weapons. But it just always seems like something goes wrong in the playoffs. I
Every
think that
time.
these past few years, I don't think that they have had much consistency when it comes to the weapons outside of Devontae Adams. So I think that team's keying on him, and then you're asking Alan Lazard to win you a game or Marquez Valdez-Scantling to win you a game.
That's fair.
So I don't think that they've been able to do that.
I feel like if they get Aaron Rodgers back, Aaron Rodgers has to make it like a point. Like the only reason I'm coming back is because y'all are going to find a number 2, or at least get like a stockpile of weapons to come in.
Yeah.
And they really got to find a way to keep number 1 because he's a free agent.
No, if Aaron Rodgers goes back, he's staying.
Why
wouldn't you?
I mean, he may want that bag though. If a team is willing to give him, because he's asking for $30 million a year, I don't think he'll get $30 million.
Give it to him.
But if a team is willing to meet him in the middle, like 25, 26, am I taking a discount to come back to play in Green Bay,
Would
Wisconsin?
Green Bay give him a discount? You don't think they give him the money?
They don't have the money to give him. Like in
Clear
terms of
some
cap
room.
space, they're
that's
one
probably
of
the
the
issue with
worst
some of
teams
the
in
free
cap.
agents.
First of all, bro, these cap gurus and these cap people on these teams are masterminds. We just talked about Mahomes' deal. They gave him majority of the deal in like the next 10 years. They can move around cap space. And give him
but
the money.
they have, if I'm not mistaken, and people out there, you can quote me on this. I believe
Don't do the
that they
negative
are
thing.
about negative $40 million in cap.
Here's how you debunk the negative cap space. The Saints every year consistently are the number 1 like negative cap space team, and they somehow find a way to sign dudes and still have money.
But is that an issue?
Dear gosh,
But who are they
Yeah.
signing though?
They're at 75 right now.
It is
Do you think
ridiculous.
issue
what
with
big
Green
time
Bay
guys are they
is-
signing?
That's the issue. Do you think it's an issue of attracting free agents, or you think it's money?
I think now they
Green Bay-
now they
well,
got guys.
Green Bay
Saints
is
are number
always
1. Guess who's number 2?
Green
Green Bay.
But Green Bay is always in the conversation to get higher end names, and I just feel like it doesn't happen. Like when Odell's a free agent, he might go to Green Bay.
They
It's
couldn't
always
pay
something.
Odell though.
It's always
Yeah,
something.
they
Yeah.
don't have the money, so now we restructure, and we pay Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is not coming back for free.
Right.
He's not Tom Brady, as we've seen. He's not the guy who's just gonna sit back and say I'm doing whatever it is for the team. If he's coming back, he has a bag, right?
Right. He's got to have a reason.
He's gonna have a bag, but Devontae Adams deserves a bag too.
Yes,
And
sir.
I can't see him passing up on, especially because he's like 28, 29, smack dab in the prime of his career. I can't see him passing up on generational wealth to go live in Green Bay, Wisconsin again.
Does he not have generational wealth?
And then let's talk about-
millions, dude.
But
They
you know,
still get
it's
paid
all
millions.
semantics. But if I can get
Right.
100 million versus 50 million,
Well, aren't they gonna franchise them anyways?
are they
Maybe.
gonna franchise
Maybe.
him? That costs money
Maybe.
too.
Maybe, and that's like goes.
But
to
that's like a discount for a team. They gonna franchise them.
But
and
it's
then
not
re-sign
really a
Rodgers
discount.
and go get another weapon.
and that's
But
like
then you'd have to purge that D line. You'd have to
Yeah.
release Zadarius Smith
I don't
and
think
Preston
so.
Smith. I'm telling you, because they have to free that room up somehow.
Right.
Because players don't have to agree to restructure their deals.
Right.
They can say, no, I'm not restructuring. Then you cut them, you release them, and then you give them a portion of their money and see them out the door. So they don't have to just agree to getting restructured. So now these are guys you have to look at as cap casualties. So then these are key components of your team. Are they the same team without Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith?
right.
I don't believe so.
So I mean, it's something to think about. I just can't see a way that they can keep the whole
Yeah.
band back together. I think Green Bay is going to be.
And
much
then-
different.
Then
As
who
long as-
emerges then out of the who's gonna
NFC.
be the new darling to come out of the NFC that might have a Super Bowl chance? Because at where I'm seeing it right now, the 49ers and the Green Bay are gonna be consistent. I feel like Green Bay wins that matchup in another game.
Dallas,
tell you
maybe?
what I think.
Dallas? I mean,
I'll tell you what
I
I
hate
think.
that's
Cowboys.
the only. Oh, me too, man.
Yeah,
I'll
hate
tell you what I
Cowboys.
think as soon as Wesley tells us his predictions. What are you thinking, Wesley?
Okay, I was gonna say Chiefs and Rams.
Chiefs and Rams.
Super Bowl prediction with a shootout in the Super Bowl.
I feel like we've been
Love
cheated
that.
out of that matchup a few too many times. You know what I'm saying?
I love that, man.
Ever since that regular season game, that Monday night game, man.
51-54.
I could never forget.
And the way stuff was going in the playoffs this year, I just felt like it was coming.
And then the Bengals.
Yeah.
I like Chiefs and Rams too.
So here's where I'm gonna go. Who do I see emerging? I don't think I see a team emerging like out of the ashes and rising like the Phoenix. I don't think I see some team coming from out of nowhere like the Bengals winning 4 games and rising up to make the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a team that we see all the time, a team that we all have kind of danced around and kind of speak about a little bit, but I don't think we're giving them their just due. And I believe that team is the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're going to put it all together and make a Super Bowl run. And I think it's either going to be because of Trey Lance taking that next step or because they get a veteran quarterback. But I think either way,
Trey Lance don't have to do too much though.
He doesn't have to do too much, but I mean, he can't lose the game for them.
Right.
Like when the chips are down, he has to be able to at least manage the game and at best win a game for them because you need your quarterback to do that.
Yeah.
So I think either he's going to make that next step and they're going to be confident with that, or they're going to go out and get somebody. But either way, I think quarterback play is going to improve tremendously for them.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
And I believe that they're going to make the Super Bowl next year. So I have the Niners coming out of the NFC. I think that it'll be between a lot of those similar teams. We have the Niners, we have the Rams. I think the Seahawks are going to be back in the mix next year.
Sir.
So we're going to see a lot of familiar faces. In terms of the AFC,
You just said the Seahawks gonna be back.
they're going to be back in the playoffs,
in
I
the
believe.
mix.
All right, let's keep going. We're not going back to the Seahawks.
Steelers won't be back in the mix.
In terms of the
That's
AFC,
cap. That's definitely
in terms
cap.
of the AFC,
We never had a losing season
And
I'm
you
messing
know,
with you.
since
you
Mike
might,
has been there.
You might, you know what I'm saying? Another team that we've kind of danced around a little bit. It's between two teams for me. You know, I'm gonna start with the Bills.
Thank gosh.
They got Josh Allen. You know, they have pretty decent online. They got some weapons. Gabriel Davis came on really strong in that playoff run. Proved that, you know, he might be able to be a quality number 2 to Stephon Diggs. We know Emmanuel Sanders, I don't know if you guys have heard that he's kind of considering retirement. But, you know, I don't think that they'll miss him too much because of Stephon Diggs, Davis, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox. So the weapons are still there. They just added Joe Brady to the staff as a quarterback coach. You know what I'm saying? Ken Dorsey, former Miami quarterback, is now their OC.
As if
so
Allen needed Joe Brady
to
be any better.
Yes, so I think they're just going to keep going on the up and up offensively. And then we already know about that defense. Unfortunately, Leslie Frazier didn't get a head coaching job, but he's back as their defensive coordinator, fortunately for them. And they're going to keep a lot of those same guys, Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, those young guys up front are going to continue to develop. And, you know, we got Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer back there. Hopefully, Tre'Davious White can come back to full strength. That team is loaded.
Hyde and Poirier were the ones that got All-Pro, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
two
it was those
All-Pros.
That's talking about the
Safety
Bills?
duo.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's one team out of the AFC. The next team that I'm looking at, and maybe I'm biased because this is my team.
Oh, no.
But
Here we go with the
maybe I'm a
Chargers.
little biased. But the LA Chargers, you have to take them serious, right?
I'll take him serious.
Because, you know,
They got a bonehead as a coach to me.
oh, man, I love Brandon Staley, but, you know, I think he's
low-key an idiot.
It's easy to say that when it doesn't work, right? Because, you know, fourth downs, we went for a lot of them against the Chiefs. They didn't work. We went for that one against the Raiders. It worked when we played the Chiefs early in the season. It won us the game. 4th and 9. We went for it, got a pass interference. It won us the game against the Chiefs. And then he went for it on a few fourth downs against the Browns, and that won us that game.
It's just
Everyone can talk about it when it doesn't work.
With the
when
stats,
it does work,
guys,
no one says
though.
anything.
It's like, do you live and die by that, though?
That's the thing.
I feel like you need to feel out, like, as a coach, okay, 4th and 1, early in the game, you know what, get the team going, let's go for it. We don't get it, all right, that's cool. It's just some spots you just don't keep doing it in. You just don't do it every time, especially on your own 35.
In his defense,
your own territory.
In his defense, first-year head coach, figuring some things out, right?
Okay.
It was his first year. You know, you got to cut him some slack. I think now.
I didn't know that.
I think now he'll be able to combine
a
lot of his analytical, a lot of the analytical expertise with kind of having that feel for the game. So that's where I think he'll improve. Obviously, Justin Herbert.
And y'all were just short of making the playoffs. Off
of one
made
game.
me sick to watch that Raiders Chargers.
It
was sick.
They're going for it in their own territory, not getting it, and then getting like scored on. Like,
and with all of that, Justin Herbert had us this close to making it, man. Like he was absolutely
balled out.
sensational in that game. Just like he was
Justin
absolutely
Herbert. Justin Herbert's a
sensational
dude.
throughout the season. But we already know who Justin Herbert is.
I was going to ask you, do you think are you optimistic about his future with the program?
Absolutely. I think that
Because I am.
I think he's already
He's a
top
beast.
five in the league, and I think he's just going to get even better. Like we talk about Mahomes and Allen and Rodgers, I think you got to put Herbert into that tier. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be mad if you didn't because he hasn't had the team success yet that those guys have had. But a lot of it has been kind of the shortcomings of the team. But I think that Justin
defense
Herbert,
got to get better too.
the defense does have to improve. More specifically, the run defense. That's where I think we're going to target that in free agency. If you guys don't know, I'm a Chargers fan. We're going to target that in free agency. I think that defensive back play, we have Derwin James. We got Asante Samuel Jr., we have Mike Davis, one of the more underrated corners in the league. We have some guys at the cornerback position, and we're definitely going to improve there. Joey Bosa, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The O-line was much improved this season. I think if they could just stay healthy, because
they did hold up.
we just had a lot of guys who were just in and out of the lineup. So if we could just stay healthy up there, and when you look at the Chargers' schedule this year, it was kind of an up and down thing. You don't know what you're going to get from that team at certain points, because the same team that lost to Houston, I believe 40-29, is the same team that went into Kansas City and beat them.
And won it.
Is the same team that played the Browns in a really, really good game and beat that team.
Right.
Is the same team that went into Cincinnati and absolutely killed the Bengals.
Yes.
That's the same team. So it's just a matter of getting more consistent, filling out some holes, specifically in the run defense, and getting a little bit deeper in certain spots. And Brandon Staley, of course, making expected improvement. I'm expecting him to improve as a second-year coach. So, that's where I think the Chargers are going to be right there. Because if you just look top to bottom, you look top-end talent, the Chargers are right there.
Yeah.
And beating and playing good teams, Chargers play good teams as well as anyone.
You guys are in the mix with those good teams.
Absolutely.
So I think overall, it's kind of like a wash trying to predict who's going back to the Super Bowl. I don't think we can really go off the consistent powerhouses anymore. It's too many.
It's the NFL.
Yeah, it's the NFL, and it's too many.
Happen. Who saw the Bengals going?
It's too many great teams right now. I love where the league's at. It's a lot of great teams and a lot of circumstances that can happen now with free agency and everything that can swing a team that you don't think is going to go.
That's the reason this season has been the playoff, the best of this era. This playoff season has been amazing because it's not the same.
Yeah,
It's been so many good teams. That's why we had 6 amazing games in a row leading up to, last-second games leading up to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to continue like that.
Let me ask y'all a question. Since we're talking about how the league is going in such a great direction, should they change the overtime score rule?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think
you don't think so? And the reason I say that is because I feel like you have situations where people look and think, if the Bills would have got the ball back.
That's exactly what I was about to mention.
You know what I mean? Just situations like that. That's all I'm saying.
You don't change it to a college. The college way, I don't really like the college way. You get the ball at 25. That ain't real football. You need to drive. I like the way it starts off. Like
the 2-point conversion crap is terrible in college. Where they start.
Yeah. That's not.
After a certain
that's
overtime.
not football, dude. That's not football.
It's not.
But I don't know. I like how it starts off. Okay, if I get the ball first, I'm going to get I get the ball first. I get a chance to score. If I score, then that's game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play defense.
Yes,
but
that's why I don't want it to change.
But if you got to play defense, but if I don't score, then you get a chance to kick a field goal and win.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I don't like about it.
That's why I'm like.
I mean, does the other team just have to go down and get a touchdown if they just stop them? I think you kind of got to reward that team that just got that stop.
Okay.
That's where I like.
That's why I like. I don't have a problem with it.
Like it's we could say
everybody was complaining about the
coin toss. We could say it comes.
Everybody was complaining about that Chiefs-Bills game.
Bills, man.
But the Bills got to play defense.
Bills got to play defense, number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah.
And
they got to play defense before that with 13 seconds left for the Chiefs to get down
God,
there. Like
similar
they had a
situation.
chance. They have a lot of chances to win that game.
Similar situation.
And I don't think overtime was the reason why they lost. The rules were. But I mean,
playing
prevent defense, like 20 yards away from the field goal line. I was like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. Sorry.
Similar situation with the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
They went in overtime with the Chiefs, and they lost the coin toss.
Right.
And what they do?
Play
Got to
defense.
stop.
They
Right.
play defense, stop them
So
and
it's
win.
easy to just say,
That's what
you
you're
know,
saying.
but
If
Just a
anything,
thought.
I
Just
say
a
play a
thought.
whole quarter
nah, that's too much ball, man.
or half
I
a
like
quarter.
that.
That's too much ball.
Half a
man.
quarter?
You don't play the 4-quarter slugfest, and now we got to play a whole another quarter. Nah, it's football too. It's not basketball.
I don't have a problem with. I like the NFL overtime rules way better than I like college. Like I don't
Yes.
believe
I
you
like
should.
the
I don't
NFL.
believe you should get the ball at 25. Okay, I score. You get another chance to score at the 25. Like no.
It ends up the problem with college is it ends up running the games into 9
Oh,
overtimes, like we saw with like Penn
Yeah.
State and Illinois.
You pretty
this
much
year.
playing the whole nother
LSU
game.
and A&M.
And
Yeah,
Yeah,
LSU
you
and
pretty much playing the whole other
7
game.
overtimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like come on, bro.
But appreciate everybody for tuning in. Moxon Glosson, Wesley Price, John Perry. This is Lorenzo Robinson, and this has been another edition of RU Sports Speaks.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.